welcome you. Ever been curious about taking intimacy, well, maybe to a whole new level? Today, we're plunging into the world of erotic massage. We've got a guide here that promises to uh, unlock pathways to deeper connection and pleasure.
Yeah, it sounds pretty comprehensive.
Think of this as your shortcut, maybe, to understanding the fundamentals. Giving and receiving truly sensual touch.
Right.
Our mission. Pretty simple.
hmm
Distill the most valuable insights from this guide, giving you a practical understanding of how erotic massage can enrich, your relationships and your personal experience of pleasure.
Exactly. And it's not just about like a fleeting sensual moment. Our source material digs into techniques for really deep relaxation, focusing on those highly sensitive areas. The guide calls them sex centers sometimes.
Sex centers, okay.
And it even gets into achieving more intense, maybe extended orgasms.
Oh, okay.
Plus, it really highlights communication and, setting the right mood, the atmosphere.
Very
And
chic.
importantly, it stresses this is for all couples, not gender specific.
Good point. Okay, let's unpack this. Setting the scene. It's got to be more than just flipping a dimmer switch, right?
Oh, absolutely. The guide talks about being really intentional.
Intentional. How so?
Yeah.
What are the key elements for you, our listener, to create that sensual space?
Well, think about signaling a clear shift, like you're leaving the everyday behind. Turn off the phones, that's a big one. Maybe even use a playful do not disturb sign.
Yeah, like that.
Then engage the senses. Soft lighting, yeah. Candles maybe, or soft lamps. Indirect light, maybe some subtle incense if you're into that. And critically, a warm room. You don't want anyone getting chilly.
Right. Goosebumps are probably not the vibe you're going for.
Exactly. It needs to feel inviting for nudity. Creating this sensory-rich environment primes the mind, the body. It's about being deliberate with pleasure.
Deliberate.
Okay.
What about the practical stuff? Like, what should you have handy, within reach?
Yeah, practicalities help the flow, definitely. The guide says have your lubricants, your oils, maybe gloves if you use them, right there, accessible.
Gotcha. No fumbling around mid-massage.
Right. And repair the surface, a warm blanket, maybe covered by a sheet, enough extra sheet to drape over afterward.
The cocooning thing the guide mentions later.
Exactly, that nice warm wrap-up.
Okay. The guide also mentions some more evocative things. Fur, feathers. What's that about?
Those are extras, really, for adding layers of, like, sensual exploration, a bit of light teasing, maybe.
Yep.
Heightened anticipation.
Okay, optional extras.
Yeah. And an eye pillow or a blindfold can be really effective, too. Helps the receiver just sink in, block out distractions. Oh, and music. Put on a favorite CD or playlist on repeat. That consistent sound can be very grounding.
So engaging all senses, minimizing distractions. What about actual physical comfort for the receiver? Any specific tips for you listeners?
Comfort is totally key for relaxation. The guide suggests using pillows or maybe rolled up towels for support, under the knees, head, ankles, wherever needed.
Makes sense.
It specifically mentions some women find a pillow under the hips helpful. But really the main thing is to experiment or just ask your partner, especially the first time.
Ask. Communication again.
Always. And, a small detail, but super important for the giver. Check and clip your fingernails.
Ooh, yes. Good call. Don't want any accidental scratches ruining the mood.
Definitely not.
Okay, let's move on to something the guide says is absolutely essential. Lubrication.
Yes. Crucial stuff here.
And it makes a really clear, important distinction between what's okay for men versus women. Can you break that down for us?
I can. And this is super important for safety and pleasure. Lubricant is necessary, the guide says, for comfortable genital massage for everyone. Prevents soreness.
Right.
But for men, you've got options. Oil-based, water-based, silicone-based, they can generally work.
Okay.
For women, though, the guide is very specific. Only water-based lubricant should be used vaginally to avoid irritation or, worse, infection.
Wow. Okay. That's a non-negotiable safety tip then for our listeners.
Yeah.
Water-based only for women.
Absolutely. Prioritize safety and comfort there. For men, maybe more room to experiment with sensation, but for women internally, stick to water-based.
Got it.
Yeah.
What about for general body massage, or say if you're focusing just on male genitals externally, what oils does the guide like?
For that, it suggests light, natural oils, things you can often just grab at the supermarket, actually. Safflower oil, sunflower, grapeseed oil.
Easy enough.
Yeah, easily accessible and usually well tolerated.
And keeping these lubes and oils close by is important, right? The guide even has some clever suggestions for, you givers.
Totally. You'll likely need to reapply, so having it right there keeps things smooth. Flip-top squeeze bottles are good.
Oh, yeah.
It even mentions massage oil belts, like with pockets.
Yeah, a massage utility belt. It sounds intense but practical.
Right. Whatever keeps things flowing without interruption.
Speaking of flow, temperature,
Mm-hmm.
cold lube sounds like a bit of a mood killer.
Oh, big time. The guide definitely advises warming lubricants and oils first.
How do you do that easily?
Simple ways. Run the bottle under warm water for a bit. Or keep it sitting in a bowl of warm water beside the massage table.
Nice.
Or, in a pinch, put the lube in your own hand first. Rub your hands together to warm it up before you apply it to your partner.
Ah, that's a considerate touch. Shows you're thinking about their comfort.
Exactly. Makes a big difference.
Okay, one more critical point on lube. The guide warns about a specific ingredient, sometimes found in water-based ones. What should you, our listener, watch out for?
Yeah, this is important. It specifically flags non-phenol nut.
Noxinol 9. Okay.
The guide basically says, in this context, it's likely to just cause irritation. So check the label when you buy. Avoid it for erotic massage.
Good advice. Check those labels. Okay, moving on. Communication. The guide keeps coming back to this. It's clearly vital.
Absolutely vital. It's like the thread weaving through the whole thing, from starting out to the most intimate moments.
So the person receiving should feel totally free to speak up.
Totally. About anything. Comfort, pleasure, and needs. The guide frames it positively. Open dialogue isn't just about fixing problems. It's the bedrock of trust. It allows for a shared journey.
So asking for, like, different pressure or needing a quick break, or even just saying, hey, can we change the temperature? That's all good.
Not just good, the guide suggests it's great. It shows high communication, trust. It shows the receiver is really tuned into their body and feelings.
That's a brilliant way to reframe it. Takes the potential awkwardness out of asking for something.
Exactly. It means you're both invested in making it the best experience possible.
What if emotions come up? The guide mentions that intimacy can sometimes stir things.
It does acknowledge that. A vulnerability, deep relaxation. Sometimes unexpected feelings can surface. Crying, maybe distress.
What should the giver do then?
The advice is just be present. Offer reassurance. Maybe a comforting hold if that feels right. Don't try to problem solve or analyze.
Just be there.
Yeah. Ask what they need in that moment. Do you want me to stop? Do you want me to just hold you? Focus on comfort, not fixing. It's like touch can unlock things sometimes.
That sounds like really compassionate advice for you givers. Now, before a single hand is laid on, there's a crucial conversation the guide insists on, especially for new partners or new territory.
Oh, yes. This is key. Mutual agreement about the possibility of sexual intimacy before you start.
Right. To avoid any awkwardness or mismatched expectations down the line.
Exactly. Prevents discomfort, embarrassment, ensures everyone's on the same page. The guide basically says, yeah, it might feel a tiny bit awkward, but have that chat up front.
How do you suggest framing that conversation, though, without, killing the mood?
Maybe frame it as part of that open communication goal. Hey, I'd love to give you this massage, and I'm open to it potentially leading to more intimacy if we both feel like it. How does that sound to you? Something like that. Keep it light but clear.
Honesty and clear expectations. Always best. Okay, let's get into the how-to of giving the massage. Where does the guide suggest starting to help your partner relax?
It starts with connection before the main massage. Little things. Kind words. Maybe some soft eye contact. Synchronized breathing, even. Gentle caressing of the face or hands. It's about building that sense of intimacy and shared presence first.
A gentle lead-in. Nice. Then, onto the table, face down, initial steps.
Partner lies face down, naked. Giver takes a moment. Quiet your own mind, focus. Then just gently rest your hands on their upper and lower back.
Like a grounding touch.
Exactly. A grounding moment for both of you before the stroking starts.
And then the relaxing massage itself, what's the sequence?
The guide suggests back first, then down the legs, then the feet.
Okay.
And it emphasizes some basic principles. Keep continuous hand contact if possible, slow and rhythmic pace, be sensitive to reactions, and progress gradually. Start with lighter, gliding strokes, maybe move to deeper pressure later.
Technique matters for the giver too, right? To avoid getting tired or strained. Any body mechanics tips for our listeners giving the massage?
Yes, good point. For deeper strokes, use your body weight, not just arm strength. Lean in.
Right.
Keep your knees bent and fluid during long strokes, helps you move smoothly. And try not to hunch over the table, bad for your back.
Good reminders.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself too, givers. Okay, after the back, legs, feet, receiver turns over. What's next?
Partner's face up now. The guide suggests massaging the chest, arms, hands, then gliding back down the legs.
Okay.
And it notes, interestingly, that as you glide down the inner thighs towards the legs, lightly brushing the genitals can actually feel good. A little hint of what's maybe to come.
Ah, a subtle tease, incorporating that. And after the fronts of the legs and feet.
Then the guide describes gliding back up the legs, and this time maybe more intentionally, slowly, lightly brushing over the genitals.
Like?
Inner thighs lightly touching the pubic area. It's presented as a teasing process. This is often where erotic energy really starts to build, a natural transition point.
That transition feels important to handle well, especially maybe the first time you do this with someone. What's the advice there?
Yeah, the guide specifically highlights this. For a first massage with someone, make eye contact while gently, respectfully cradling their genitals, and explicitly ask permission to go further. Is it okay if I focus here now? Something like that.
Consent again. Crystal clear.
Absolutely essential. Shows respect, ensures comfort, opens up communication even more.
So once you have that green light, the focus shifts more directly to the genitals. But the guide mentions integrating this with the whole body.
That's right. It's not just about the genitals in isolation. While that's the main focus now, the guide recommends doing occasional gentle sweeps up and down the body.
Why is that?
It helps spread the sensation, balance the energy, creates a more holistic feeling of arousal rather than it being super localized, keeps the whole body involved.
Nice. And the guide suggests that you, the giver, will get better at reading the signs, knowing when and how to transition.
Exactly. With practice, paying attention, you start to learn your partner's energy, their arousal cues, breathing changes, little sounds, body movements. It becomes more intuitive, reading their verbal and nonverbal cues.
Okay, now we're getting to the core, pleasuring those sex centers. Let's start with the male experience. There's a key principle about managing stimulation. What is it?
Yes, for male genital massage, the core idea in the guide is about slowing down, stopping, or changing the stimulation just before ejaculation feels inevitable.
Ah, the peaking idea.
Exactly. And crucial to this is the man giving a signal. Verbal, hand raise, body language, whatever works.
Okay, so communication is key there too. Does the guide mention this can sometimes be, well, frustrating rather than pleasurable?
It acknowledges the dynamic, yeah. For some, that build-up, that edge, is part of the intense pleasure. For others, maybe the release is more the goal. It depends. But the guide presents this peaking as a way to prolong the massage pleasure.
And this peaking thing, it might have other benefits.
Well, the guide suggests something pretty interesting. That repeatedly approaching that edge, but pulling back, might help some men learn to experience multiple orgasms without ejaculating.
Really? Multiple orgasms for men?
That's what the guide proposes as a possibility through this kind of practice. It even says it's something men can explore solo.
That's a fascinating thought for you listeners to consider. But, okay, the guide also gets that often. The end goal is ejaculation, right?
Oh, for sure. It acknowledges ejaculation brings intense pleasure for many, but it also points out it can lead to fatigue afterwards.
Whoa.
So for opposite-sex couples, if the plan is for the male massage to end that way, the guide suggests maybe having the woman receive her massage first, so her experience isn't cut short by his post-orgasm downtime.
Practical planning. Makes sense. Right. What about other aspects, like talking during? Or does guy need to have an erection?
The guide encourages hot talk, verbal fantasies, based on what your partner likes, of course. And saying things like, "I love seeing you enjoy this," can be a real turn-on. Interestingly, it also says an erection isn't always necessary. Some strokes actually feel better when the penis is soft.
Oh, good to know. Take some pressure off, maybe?
Definitely.
Okay, specific strokes. The guide gives examples for men. Can you share a couple for our listener?
Sure. It mentions the healing stroke. One hand cups the balls. The heel of the other hand glides up and down the underside of the penis shaft to the tip.
Okay.
Then there's the anvil stroke. Using alternating hands, stroking from the base to the tip, one hand after the other, like you're forging something, I guess.
Okay. Anvil stroke.
And climbing the mountain, alternating gentle caressing with like quick little bursts of up and down strokes, increasing the number of quick strokes each time as arousal builds.
Got it. Some concrete ideas to try. And after the massage finishes, ejaculation or not, there's that cocooning again.
Yes. Gently folding the sheet or blanket over the receiver, creating that warm, safe space. It's described as a time for peace, contentment, just being. A lovely, gentle closing.
Nice. Okay, let's switch to pleasuring a female partner's sex centers. The guide right away points out some key differences in female response. What should you, our listener, know?
Yeah, this is interesting. The guide highlights that female arousal is often more tied to emotional state, feeling connected, warm towards her partner.
Hmm.
It talks about the potential for different types of orgasms, clitoral and G-spot, which can feel distinct. Big individual variation in what feels good.
Right. Everyone's different.
Exactly. Also, potentially a longer time needed to get fully aroused, but then the possibility of longer, more intense orgasms. And crucially, the capacity for multiple orgasms with continued stimulation, especially G-spot stimulation.
Okay, that potential for multiple orgasms changes the game a bit for the massage approach, doesn't it? Less holding back, maybe?
That's the idea. Because multiple orgasms are possible, the guide suggests women generally don't need to signal to stop or slow down in the same way a man might if he's practicing peaking. Experiencing one orgasm can actually build arousal for the next.
So for you givers, the focus might be more on building and sustaining that arousal wave.
Pretty much. Keep the pleasure going, respond to what feels good.
So what kinds of stimulation does the guide suggest exploring?
Again, huge emphasis on attentiveness and communication. Listen to your partner, but it does note a common pattern. Maybe start with gentle, all-over rubbing of the vulva,
Okay.
then move to more direct clitoral stimulation, and then perhaps explore the G-spot or combine them. But it stresses. Direct to clitoral or vaginal touch usually only feels good when she's already pretty aroused.
Build up to it.
Yeah.
And what about using the free hand? The guide mentions this for female massage, too.
Yes, don't just park your other hand. Use it. Glide it over her body, tease her nipples, massage the perineum, caress her face. Create those connections. Stimulate another spot simultaneously. Make it a whole body thing.
Nice integration.
Okay.
Specific techniques. Clitoral stimulation, what's the advice for givers?
Explore. Find out what part of the clitoris feels best. The head, the shaft, the hood. Start soft, maybe rhythmic circles with a lubricated finger.
Lube is key here, too, presumably.
Absolutely. Well lubricated. And once you find something that works, consistency in rhythm and pressure is often good. Don't suddenly change what's feeling great.
Makes sense.
It also mentions some women like internal fullness during clitoral orgasms, fingers, maybe a dildo, but again, usually only when already highly aroused.
Okay. What about the G-spot? The guide gives a location for you explorers.
It does. Forward vaginal wall, behind the pubic bone, maybe 2 inches in or so. Often feels a bit different, maybe ridged or textured.
How do you stimulate it?
Lubricated first and second fingers together, usually.
Ah.
Gentle come here motion or small circular rubbing. Pads of the fingers doing the work. Another way is rotating the fingers inside with even pressure.
Okay.
And again, usually only feels good when she's aroused. It also mentions that sensation of needing to pee can happen.
Ah, yes.
And clarifies that female ejaculation, if it occurs, is different from urine.
Good distinctions to know. The guide also touches on vibrators. Key points.
Notes they often work best on or near the clitoris. Start on low intensity. Let her guide you or hold it herself. Can be fun to combine clitoral vibration with vaginal penetration. It even names some popular models and shops if you're curious.
Helpful for those interested. And, like with men, verbal encouragement is important for women, too.
Hugely important. Hot talk, fantasies, sexy compliments, eye contact. All good. And crucially, reassuring her.
Reassuring her about what?
Common worries like, are you getting tired, or am I taking too long? The guide says the giver expressing genuine enjoyment and giving pleasure is a massive turn-on. It helps her relax and let go.
That's powerful. Positive feedback loops again. And finally, the cocooning finish applies here, too.
Yes, that nice gesture of folding the sheet or blanket over her afterwards, that shared moment of quiet contentment.
Lovely. Okay, let's talk variations and enhancements. Taking that up a notch. Conscious breathing. How does that fit in?
The guide sees it as a way to deepen everything, relaxation, erotic feeling. Giver can remind the receiver, maybe by breathing audibly, rhythmically themselves.
Synchronized breathing, too.
Yeah, it mentions that can create a wonderful connection, even heightened sensations. Just, don't hyperventilate. Keep it relaxed.
Good advice. What about finishing with intercourse? Does the guide cover that possibility?
It does. Notes that some couples, especially maybe opposite-sex couples, like to end that way. Says most massage tables are sturdy enough.
Yeah, good to know.
And interestingly, it points out women are often much more likely to orgasm during intercourse if they've already had orgasms via massage, particularly G-spot orgasms.
Ah, so the massage is like a potent foreplay in that sense.
Exactly. It lists a few popular positions too, noting their benefits.
Okay. Now, for something that sounds intense, the big draw. From the Body Electric School, what is that?
Yeah, this one sounds pretty unique. It's described as a way to end the massage with a big energetic release.
How does it work?
Energy builds through the massage. Then on cue, all touch stops. Receiver takes 7 deep breaths. On the last exhale, they tense everything. Clench muscles, roll eyes back, hold it for maybe 10 seconds, like a full body crunch. Wow.
Then complete release. Total relaxation. Giver gently covers them. No touching for at least 5 minutes. Guide suggests cosmic music.
Cosmic music.
That's the term used. It mentions potential for profound emotional release, even altered states. Definitely sounds like an experience for the adventurous.
Intense. Okay, something maybe a bit more accessible. PC muscle contractions, or Kegels. How can you listeners use those?
The guide explains contracting and relaxing those pelvic floor muscles, the ones you use to stop peeing, increases sexual pleasure for everyone.
How so?
Stronger PC muscles can mean more intense orgasms, better control. You can consciously use them during sex or massage to heighten sensations. Guide even mentions men can use them to help delay ejaculation.
A simple exercise with potentially big benefits for you both.
Exactly. Worth exploring for sure.
The guide also mentions a more advanced technique for men. Prostate stimulation. What's the overview for those curious? Okay, yeah, advanced is the key word here. It involves stimulating the prostate gland internally. It's about an inch or two inside the anus towards the penis. Often done simultaneously with penile stimulation.
What are the crucial safety points?
Absolute musts. Latex gloves, short fingernails or protection under the glove, and lots of lube.
Got it.
It notes the sensation can be novel, maybe like needing the bathroom, so go beforehand. Refers to other guides for more detail. Says pressure here, especially near orgasm, can feel amazing for some men. Some can even orgasm just from this.
Definitely requires care, research, and communication if you're exploring that.
Absolutely. Not something to jump into lightly.
Lastly, under variations, simultaneous pleasuring.
Yeah. This is suggested for couples maybe more experienced, more attuned to each other, lying face to face on a bed, heads close, pleasuring each other with hands.
Sounds intimate.
Very. Again, reiterates the need for the male partner to signal if ejaculation is approaching. It's about sharing that pleasure journey in real time.
Beautiful. Now, the guide apparently has appendices packed with tons more specific techniques. We can't cover them all, but maybe give our listeners a little taste, spark some curiosity.
Oh, yeah, the appendices are extensive. For men, Appendix A, you've got things like using the extra hand, stimulating other areas at the same time, techniques with names like cockapressure, fire, twist and shout, anvil stroke again, milker, lots of creative ideas.
Sounds very descriptive. And for women, Appendix B?
Equally creative. Labial massage, a 1 and a 2 and a 3, tap dancing on the mons, cervix clock, fingers on the hood, exploring different pressures, rhythms, locations, rock around the click clock, temple gate tease. Honestly, just reading the names gives you ideas.
Wow, it really sounds like a deep well of inspiration for anyone wanting to explore further.
Definitely, far beyond the basics we've touched on.
Okay, so bringing this deep dive to a close,
Yeah.
what are the big takeaways for you, our listener, from this guide to erotic massage?
I think it boils down to a few key things. 1, environment matters. Creating that intentional, sensual space.
Right.
2, communication is constant. Before, during, after. It's essential. 3, lubrication. Use it and use the right kind, especially for women's safety.
Crucial point.
And 4, understand there can be different approaches, different responses, especially between male and female bodies. Be attentive, be curious.
And ultimately, this isn't just about sex techniques, is it? The guide presents it as more about connection.
Exactly. It's framed as a powerful tool for enhancing intimacy, deepening communication, and exploring shared pleasure, whatever that looks like for a particular couple.
It offers a whole toolkit,
A
really.
huge toolkit of ideas and insights for you to potentially explore and adapt.
So you, our listener, maybe with this foundation, think about how you could creatively, sensitively bring some of these principles, maybe even a technique or two, into your own connections. Explore those new dimensions of pleasure together.
That's a wonderful thought to end on, encouraging that personal exploration and experimentation in your intimate life.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the art and maybe the practice of erotic massage.